Sharing the truth, one fact at a time. This is the Free America Radio Network. Hey folks, how you doing? Yes, it's not a podcast, it's me live right here on the 14th of May, 2014. How you doing? It's hump day. Let's all do the hump. Do the hump. Anyway, just kidding, folks. Lots of things going on. Lots of things out in the world today that we all have to pay attention to. Lots and lots and lots of things, folks. Lots of things. Now, question is, what do you want to believe? That's the main question. What do you want to believe? I mean, you can listen to me, you can listen to Brian Keller, you can listen to Nick Tucker, you can listen to Bob Brutus, you can listen to Brian Lang, you can listen to Alex Jones or Glenn Beck or whoever. What do you want to believe? What do you want to believe? I mean, it's a real simple question that really has a simple answer. You know, some people are going to say, well, it's subjective. I mean, you're going to believe whatever, you know, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I know all that. But we need to pay attention to what's going on, folks. We really do. We have to look out at our world and actually not just out there, but within ourselves and say, hey, why am I doing the things I do? Why am I angry with this person? Why am I in one way over here with this person happy and fun and joking around, but over here with this person I get really pissed off? Why is it that with my brother I can love him and all that, and with my other, sibling or whatever it is, whatever your scenario is, why is it you react the way that you do? You have to really get down and find out why. Pardon me, folks. Find out what triggers depression. Find out what triggers anger. Find out what triggers all of this. And not ignore it, but learn how to deal with it. Learn how to take the steps to get through it. You can't get over it. You can't shove it in a corner somewhere. You can't suppress it. You have to. The only way you're ever going to get over your problems is if you run right through it, work right through it, dig right through it, beat it down, move it on, kick it right, and just work on it, And that's my advice to you. I know you didn't ask for it, but hey, there you go. Try to find out what's going on. You just got to zero in on that one thing that has caused those problems. And it is one thing, trust me. It is only one thing that's caused all those problems. Pebble in a pond, folks. Ripples go out everywhere. So that one thing has affected you in such a way to where it's affecting other people. Find it. Eliminate it, dig deep down and go and do it. And trust me, folks, I've done that for over 25 years. And man, it is the most emotional roller coaster you can ever get on. But at the end, you're going to feel exhilarated and you're going to feel good about yourself and about other people. You're going to be able to deal with people. You're going to be able to go out in public and deal with these blind and unaware people. It's very helpful. I mean, it really is. Hey, that's that's my advice to you. I know you didn't ask for it, but hey, it's free. There you go. I'll be back right after this. This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce from the Free America Radio Network. Prepare yourself for the unexpected. Have an emergency food supply available when you need it. You never know when the next power outage or natural disaster will happen. Are you prepared when it does? Go to Free America Radio Network website and click on the Store tab and get your emergency food supply now. go to freeamericaradio.us. A natural disaster could happen at any time. Be prepared. Go to freeamericaradio.us and click on the store tab to get your emergency food supply today. That's freeamericaradio.us and click on the store tab and prepare in case something happens. Listen to the Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show, Friday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, right here on Spreaker.com.
Pay attention, son.
Sharing the truth, one fact at a time. This is the Free America Radio Network. Hey folks, how you doing? This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce right here live. This is not a podcast. This is live on the 14th of May, 2014. How you doing today? It's hump day. It's Wednesday. I hope you're having a good week so far. Never drink soda before a show. Just saying. Anyway, hey, I want to give a big shout out to the positive review of Brian Keller's book, Dictator in Chief. And I got to tell you, man, you got to pick it up. You got to pick it up. You know? Let's put it this way. It's fiction, but it'll make you think. I'll just leave it at that, all right? The thing that we all have to remember is, excuse me if you heard a little click there. That's me. The things that we have to think about is crucial. You know, it's what is going on around us. How can we go from day to day and survive? It's interesting, isn't it? I mean, you know, it's, well, some people say, well, I go to work, I survive that way. No, wait, hold on, excuse me? So you would rather be stuck in a routine, a monotonous, you know, mechanic, you know, moving the gear, smart enough to fix it, but not smart enough to be a supervisor. You know, it's, you know, think of whatever job you're in. You're in an office, data entry, medical, whatever, you know, medical transcription, whatever it is. Whatever job you have, you would rather do that. And you think that that's going to help you survive. Well, in a way, I have to admit, yes, that part of it will help you survive. There's a lot more out there to take a look at. So we need to look at our survival. We need to look at our survival spiritually, physically, politically, as it is now. I mean, look at what's going on around us today. I mean, you got Joe Biden's son, our Hunter Biden, who is, you know, now head of the legal team of a Ukraine oil company. Excuse me? Hello? Connection? Can you say cronyism? Is it wrong that our Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's son, has a job? No, not at all. I applaud him for his work and all of that to get to where he has to be in life and to survive. I mean, yeah, great, wonderful. But, hang on, folks. But the cronyism involved. My question is there someone more qualified or just as qualified to be in that position? Why did it have to be our Hunter Biden? Couldn't it be somebody else? And why is it he's the head of the legal team or of that particular oil company in the Ukraine. Do you know who runs the Ukrainian oil companies? Do you know who has pipelines underneath the land in the Ukraine? I mean, think about it. Okay, just think about it. Here's a speculation for you. How's this? You get word that Russia is going to, because Russia owns the pipelines under Ukraine, and specifically going to Kiev and to Crimea, and so let's just say you get word that Russia says, "Well, we want to raise prices." Okay, I don't see anything wrong with a business raising prices if they want to make a little more profit. But some of that oil goes to China. Some of that oil goes down south into ports below Crimea, in the port cities down in that area. And guess where that gas goes to? Guess where that oil that is refined goes to? Can you say the USA? Can you say Saudi Arabia? We get so many percentages of oil from Saudi Arabia. We get so many percentages of oil from Europe, from, all over the world. We do. We ship it out from North Dakota and other parts of Texas and all that because everybody wants our oil. Well, we have a higher reserve than previously noted. So if Russia wants to raise the prices, you've got somebody in the Ukraine going, really? Can they do that? So you got that part. Then you got the other part of the speculation on the other side of that coin saying, well, if Russia wanted to just cut it off, then there would have to be a legal team in there that says, wait, you can't do that. And then, of course, can you say military-industrial complex coming into Ukraine to stop Russia from cutting off the oil supply? Again, speculation. Again, just not concise enough to really understand it all, but just an overview, a speculative overview there. But the thing is that there is a connection. It's called cronyism. I don't think anybody understands how, and it's not only, get this, folks, it's not only our Hunter Biden, it's someone else as well. Okay? Excuse me. It's someone else as well. It's, I believe if I can find it here. I didn't put it up on Free America Radio on Facebook, so let's go to see if I put it up on the Wayne S. Pierce Show on Facebook. If you hear clicking and skipping and stuff like that, sorry, I'm using my browser and I'm looking at stuff. I don't know why it does that, so pardon me, folks. But anyway, not only is Biden part of this, but I believe it was, and correct me if I'm wrong, John Kerry, the Secretary of State, his stepson is also associated with this oil company in the Ukraine. It's called cronyism, folks. The bottom line, cronyism. Oh, I got some other things to talk about that too on the Views Express Live today at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Facts are facts, folks. I mean, they're out there in front of your face. And don't give me this crap, oh, well, I got my facts and you got yours. Really? Then put them on the table. Let me see them. I don't have to prove anything to anybody. Really? Yeah, you do. You got to prove it to yourself. If you are even 1/16th interested in anything and you have questions about it, then that is when you have to prove to yourself, probably mainly out of curiosity, that your hunches, that your feelings, that your thoughts, that your, what you're looking at is true and factual. See? Not a lot of people understand that. Not a lot of people get that. But you got to prove to yourself first that you're right, or that this stuff is actually there and provable and accurate and truthful. And I have people on my Facebook page putting, excuse me, stuff going on there. I have people on my Facebook page that, I post stuff, pictures, what's happening in your area, this type of thing, and people respond to it by saying, I've never heard this, but I wouldn't, or it's not what, this is saying, or it's sensationalized, or whatever. Hang on just a sec, folks. Sorry for the silence there. Just people post stuff. I put pictures up and say, hey, is this going on? And is this true? Is factual? Because I want people to think, and I want people to share with me what is happening in their neck of the woods. And if something that is happening, then fine. Let me know what's going on. You know what I mean? And I can say this because I've been there. I've experienced this myself, where people will post stuff, and then I go look at it and read it, and with the person's posting, they put this big headline of, whatever it is, and then I go check it out and go, wait a minute, you're, here, this is. They said this, okay? And it all boils down to interpretation. It all boils down to interpretation. I mean, that's primarily what it is. And people do not know how to interpret things. And that's the thing. Number one, they don't know how. And number one, they don't want to interpret things any other way except what their little cookie cutter world has helped them to try to interpret, and yada, yada, yada. Or number two, they don't know how to interpret things. So for me to say something to someone, they're going to interpret it a whole lot differently than the way that I meant it. Then I got to follow up with, no, I meant this. And then they're going to interpret that to be hypocritical. That you understand how all this works now, right? You get it? So when I post something and people are going, that's not happening, but their wording in their response to the picture or to whatever I'm posting is such to where they're misinterpreting what it is that I'm posting, and I explain, what's going on and all that, then that's their problem, and they need to, number one, learn how to interpret things more correctly and accurately, and number two, they need to prove to themselves that their assessment of the situation and the post is accurate. And if they can't do that, then all I can say is bye, have a nice day. I'll be back right after this. War is peace. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength. That is from 1984 by George Orwell. Do you really want to know what's going on? Come listen to The Views Express, Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, only on the Liberty and Freedom Network.
Samo Radio, playing music for free so you can listen longer. Samo.
It's the 5 o'clock drive with Samo.
Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. till 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
What's on your mind? Chances are it's on their mind too. Check out Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show. Friday evenings at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. Only on Spreaker.com. Hey, folks, welcome back. Yeah, if I use the right knob to turn down the volume, I'll be fine. Come join Diana and myself on the Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show, Fridays at 8 Pacific, 11 Eastern. That's the Grab Bag Show. Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show. That's her name. Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show, Friday nights at 8 Pacific, 11 Eastern, and we talk about everything under the sun. You name it, we talk about. Go check out the show from last week because it's very interesting. I know that a few people have listened to it, or at least one that I know of, and one committed to go listen to it. So anyway, go to the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page. If you would, please. Thank you. Appreciate that. If you want to sponsor the show, you can. Hey, that's all. It's all good, man. Go to the WayneSPierceShow.weebly.com. Go to the sponsors page, and or email me, and we will discuss it and work something out. Okay, folks. I want to say this. I want to put this out here because it's very, very important. And that is, I'm not always right and I'm not always wrong. Neither is anybody else. So for anybody to jump on me for things I say or to misinterpret the things that I say, you know what? Get a clue. Okay? You're neither wrong nor right either. Okay? We all look. Let me give you a perfect example, and I use this as the analogy. I use this as an analogy because it's what it is. You know, it's what it is. You and I standing there on the street. We're looking at a red Volkswagen. Okay, we're looking at a red Volkswagen. Nice red Volkswagen, good candy apple red, it's got nice rims on it, then good looking, awesome, right? That's my perspective. Yeah, little dings here and there and, stuff like that. That's great, right? It's just, kind of pound it out, work it out, that kind of, not a big deal, right? You and I both looking at this. How can you say that it's any different than what we see? This is misinterpretation 101. How can you say that it's anything other than what we see together and agree on it? It's a red Volkswagen, is it not? Yes. Okay, then what's the problem? You know what I mean? A duck is a duck, it quacks. It's not a vulture, is it, So in that regard, yes, we both can have an agreement on what it is. But then the minutia gets involved in that. Did you know that has a Porsche engine in it and can get up to 140 miles an hour? Really? You're telling me this, and I'm going, really? Yeah, it really does. Look, look at the speedometer, right? Yeah, but the speedometer only says 80, so how are you getting 140 out of this thing? Oh, because the engine. Well, show it. Well, I can't get into the engine compartment. What? You're going to make claims that this has got a Porsche engine in it and can go 140 miles an hour without proving it to me? Well, you're just going to have to believe me. No, I'm not. You're making it sound so overblown that it's unbelievable, so you're going to have to prove yourself right. Well, you're just going to have to take my word for it. I know the owner. Really? Who's the owner? Oh, I can't remember his name right now. Blah, blah, blah. You see the minutia of this BS? You've got to understand that you have to understand the situation before even making a comment. And if I don't know something, I will tell you I don't know. If I want to make a comment on it but don't have all the information, I say I'm speculating or I could be wrong about this. Dun, ta-da. It's not my way of backing out of the truth or the facts. It's just my way of presenting to you something that I know is truthful and factual, but there could be some things I've overlooked. Okay? I mean, there can be certain things that you don't see that would probably help you understand and assess the situation better. I just wanted to say that because it's important. Okay? No one is completely wrong and no one is completely right. We just need to learn how to interpret stuff. Okay? I want to, I don't usually say or talk about this except on other shows, but because this is my show, I can talk about anything I want. And it's not really political. It's, again, interpretation. It's how you view certain things. And, of course, interpretation is based upon what you can compare, what you're looking at to other things. I mean, that's pretty much interpretation 101. Go look it up. That's how it is. So when we go back in our history and politically, militarily, all of that, and we see these things happening and we see things in front of us and we know these things are happening, what makes us think that those things are truthful and factual? Well, after the bottom of the hour break, I'm going to come back and point out, give you my take on an article that is on the Wayne S. Pierce Show, because I can probably give you a little more insight as to, number one, cover-ups, number two, interpretation, and number three, how the general public takes all of this in, So, now, so anyway, I want people to understand that how I look at things is there it is. There's the red Volkswagen. Is it anything other than what it is? Well, again, getting into the minutia of it, somebody will say certain things about it, and I'll counter that by saying, okay, show me. And if somebody can't, bye, have a nice day, enjoy. So, anyway, so after the bottom of the hour break, I'll give you my take on that. I'll give you a little more insight from my perspective on how all that is. And it's, to me, just my perspective. Okay. To me, it's what it is. And I'll tell you that when I get back from the break. And folks, yeah, I shall return right after this. What we see is not always the truth. Lies, deceit, cover-ups. This is the world we live in. It is not reality. It is distorted reality. Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker. Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on Facebook and distortedreality.podbean.com. Waking up the masses. Truth, knowledge, and wisdom for your consumption. Waking up the masses. News and views concerning the New World Order. Waking up the masses. Join Bob Brutus as he pulls back the curtain on the esoteric agenda which has been in play for a millennia. Waking up the masses. WakingUpTheMasses.com. The President of the United States turns the country into a dictatorship. And what happens after he does? Find out in the book Dictator-in-Chief by Brian Keller. Available at Amazon.com or CreateSpace.com. Eastland Sci-Fi Radio Theater is looking for you. Are you a voice actor looking to hone your abilities? Are you a writer looking for actors? Then Eastland Sci-Fi Radio Theater is for you. If you are a voice actor or a writer of sci-fi themed radio plays, send your information to Eastland Radio Films at USA.com. For more information, go to eastlandradiofilms.wix.com/eastlandfilms for more information. If you are a voice actor, send your audition clips to Eastland Radio Films at USA.com. What is there to do on a Friday night? Why not listen to Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, on Spreaker.com. Sharing the truth, one fact at a time. This is the Free America Radio Network. Hey, folks, welcome back. Go to the WayneSPearsShow.weebly.com site and cruise around the site. If you want to sponsor the show, you can. Go to the sponsors page, check it all out. I don't know, folks. I mean, we have certain situations going on that we need to work on, right? So it's interesting. It's just really interesting. Be right back. This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce from the Free America Radio Network. Prepare yourself for the unexpected. Have an emergency food supply available when you need it. You never know when the next power outage or natural disaster will happen. Are you prepared when it does? Go to Free America Radio Network website and click on the Store tab and get your emergency food supply now. Go to freeamericaradio.us. A natural disaster could happen at any time. Be prepared. Go to freeamericaradio.us and click on the Store tab to get your emergency food supply today. That's freeamericaradio.us and click on the Store tab and prepare in case something happens. Hey folks, yes, get your emergency food supply now. Go to freeamericaradio.us and I made it easier for you. Just go look for the emergency food supply tab at the top of the page. There you go. That makes for easy navigation, doesn't it? So anyway, how you doing, folks? It's Hump Day. It's the 14th of May, right here in 2014. Can you believe? Where were you 10 years ago? Where were you 10 years ago, 2004? Where were you? I know where I was. I was working in Jackson, California at the Jackson Rancheria Casino and doing really good up until a point. Yeah, again, interpretation, again, misrepresentation, and also just all sorts of misinterpretation on that as well. But anyway, I'm talking about interpreting things, and I'm interpreting things in a way to where people are, number one, people misinterpret. Let's go that route. People misinterpret a hell of a lot of things because they don't know how to interpret anything. You know, again, interpretation is based upon the information you have that you can compare to other things. Am I not right in that one? Email me and let me know. Okay. Now, I don't normally talk about stuff like this, even though I've researched it for over 25, well, going on 30 years at this point. And next year it'll be 30 years. And I don't usually talk about UFOs on this show, and I don't usually talk about, you know, how the government is covering all that up, but I do allude to it at times. But, you know, because I want something that, you know, in my hot little hands that I can tangibly be able to investigate. You know what I mean? I can't rightly go to, you know, all these clandestine bases and investigate these UFOs. Oh, did I say too much there? I'm sorry. But anyway, on the Wayne S. Pierce Show from Clifford Stone on Facebook, he writes, by the end of 1948. Now, again, when I read this, keep an open mind, because I'm going to give you my take on this and how people misinterpret things, okay? I'm going in that route. I'm going to talk about misinterpretation because I've already covered what it is or how it is that people interpret things, okay? It says here, by the end of 1948, many within the U.S. Air Force that dealt with UFO investigations had already concluded that some UFOs were interplanetary vehicles. This is illustrated by the known fact that the so-called, quote, estimate of a situation, the estimate of the situation was written and did exist. The situation was that UFOs existed and some UFOs were interplanetary spacecraft. General Hoyt Vandenberg, quote-unquote, felt the report lacked proof in the form of hard evidence or hardware and ordered the report declassified and destroyed. This way, there would be no existence of any kind of evidence in the form of top-secret report that there was ever any conflict within the U.S. Air Force that UFOs were nothing more than misidentifications of natural objects. Misidentification, misinterpretation. Continuing, the controlling agency for this document was the U.S. Air Force. This is important to know as the report was a joint effort of both the U.S. AF, the United States Air Force, and the United States Navy. However, people of conviction never dropped the ball. So it was in the case, thank God. So it was in this case, thank God. He's just euphemistically saying that, you know, hey, thank goodness somebody had a brain to figure this one out and bring it to the forefront. Continuing. Now, knowing that the top brass would not accept interplanetary vehicles, that's in quotes, they were intelligent enough to know and understand they must get their point across. So they chose to do another top secret report. You see how it moves? You see how it works? You see how it's, you know, moving along here so far, folks? Okay? Let me go back to that and say this. Now, knowing that the top brass would not accept, quote-unquote, interplanetary vehicles, they were intelligent enough to know and understand that they must get their point across, so they chose to do another secret report. This report is known as Air Force Intelligence Report 203. That's in quote, folks. This time, knowing the top brass was not willing to, quote-unquote, buy interplanetary vehicles, something the top brass already knew, they chose another approach. In the Air Intelligence Report 203, they concluded UFOs were something real, under intelligent control, exhibited a technology at least 20 years ahead of the U.S., and could be of a Soviet origin. Do you see the wordplay there, folks? Do you see how they manipulated the situation to put forth an idea that the top brass or anybody else would interpret to be something when in reality it wasn't? Now, I'm explaining this to you as I go along. I'll give you my 2 cents worth in the summary after all this. Continuing, let me begin here. This time, knowing the top brass was not willing to buy interplanetary vehicles, something the top brass already knew, they chose another approach. In Air Intelligence Report 203, they concluded UFOs were something real, under intelligent control, exhibited a technology at least 20 years ahead of the U.S., and could be of Soviet origin. This time, the report was classified top secret and accepted. However, in 1950, the United States Air Force ordered that all copies of this report be destroyed. Why? Because the conclusion, trying to scroll up here, because the conclusion conflicted with the official United States Air Force position that there was nothing to UFOs. However, one copy was to be retained for the historical record and was released in 1985. Now we move forward in time to the release of General Bolender Memo. The General Bolender Memo, which stated, quote, "Those cases, UFOs, involving national security are not and were never meant to be part of the Project Blue Book files," unquote. How true, how true. Now we move on to November 2011 with the release of a formally confidential document entitled Releasing Results of Analysis and Evaluation of, quote, Unidentified Aerial Objects Reports, unquote. This document makes it clear to downplay UFO incidents in the media. However, it also makes it clear that those cases involving any technical intelligence value should be forwarded to the Director of the Air Force Intelligence Headquarters, United States Air Force, within an out comment. I know somebody's writing this, they don't know grammar. Without comment to any media outlet, also bypassing Project Blue Book. Let me read that again. Let me try to get some intelligence in there for you to understand this. However, this report, this results, releasing results of analysis and evaluation of unidentified aerial objects reports, it says, however, it also makes it clear that those cases involving any technical intelligence value should be forwarded to the Director of the Air Force Intelligence Headquarters, United States Air Force, without comment to any media outlet, and also bypassing Project Blue Book. This document strongly supports the statement of General Bolender in that, quote, those cases involving national are not and were never meant to be Project Blue Book. Basically, it's a document that shows that certain top secret records which were destroyed, some were kept in archive and presented in this other document, which should have not been placed in this other document, basically. Now, along the way, I've tried to explain to you where the misinterpretation came from. Well, it's not so much misinterpretation, it's misdirection. Now, I've talked about interpretation. I talked about a little bit about misinterpretation, how we can see things that and look at something and see the same thing, but someone else is going to have a different view on it, okay, different perspective, a different, idea. That's misinterpretation. Now, with all of that, it gets into the point of misdirection, okay? I don't have much longer. I got like 15 minutes. So, when you interpret something properly, you have assessed the situation properly, you have come to a conclusion or a result, maybe not a conclusion, that your interpretation of the situation was true and accurate to the best of your ability to gather that information. Am I correct? The misinterpretation comes by way of others who cannot, will not, don't want to interpret it in the same way that you do by doing their homework. So they misinterpret the situation or the circumstances that you have talked about. Am I correct? Am I getting close? Are we on the same page? With all of that, that other person will use every resource they have to, one, contradict everything you say and cause misdirection to anyone listening or viewing you. Am I even on the same page with anybody? Can we understand that? Let me get an amen from the choir, okay? I really understand this stuff. And I can understand why people would say that I'm wrong or anything of that nature, but I'm not completely wrong, I'm not completely right. I may have overlooked something. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm wrong, it just means I overlooked something. Okay? A red Volkswagen is a red Volkswagen. Take a look at it, there it is. Don't give me anything else, that's just what it is. There it is, right there in front of you, and yes, we can agree that it's a red Volkswagen. My whole point of this show is to tell you that if you do not even come to any point in your life where you are going to question anything in your life, then you are not aware of what's going on. Now, of course, awareness comes from consciousness, blah, blah, blah. I can go through all that, but that's for a different show. You are not aware of what's going on. Therefore, you have no need, nor do you want to, and flat out refuse to question anything. And you are, I'll put it this way, in your little cookie cutter world being deluded by your own preconceived ideas. So instead of misinterpreting and misdirecting other people, why don't you get the correct interpretation by doing your homework, assessing the situation and circumstances and the things you see and hear, and then getting the right, accurate information to the best of your ability to research it and find it and present that. And you'll find that most people are going to be in agreement with you. But to constantly bash and put down and, say people are wrong and all this and misinterpret and misdirect, that's just insane. Because it's like basically telling a lie but lying about it and then telling another lie to cover up the lie you lied about and then, see what I mean? I know it's complicated to explain, but it's really easy to understand. Tell the truth, be honest, be credible, uphold your integrity. That's a positive thing right there. And admit that you have flaws, and admit that you have faults, and admit that you're not always right. Admit that you're not always wrong. I do. Why not? It's the truth. So, I wanted to get in, and I know I have a few minutes here, but I want to get into something on the Free America Radio. I'm going to give you a heads up preview, basically, of what's happening in the world today. Go to Free America Radio on Facebook and I'll give you this. Police brag and laugh on camera about shooting a protester in the head with rubber bullets. The freethoughtproject.com has that article. FoxNews.com says Senate Democrats block joint inquiry into Benghazi attack. See, they want to block it. They don't want the truth to come out. They're going to misdirect or misinterpret and misdirect, or cause people to misinterpret, and then they're going to misdirect people. Also, I talked about this yesterday on PoliceStateUSA.com. Town bans acts of charity because it undercuts a need for government agencies. Well, we need to get these government agencies out of here. Basically, that's what we need to do. We need to do it ourselves. If people need to eat, then if I'm able to, I'm going to feed them. That's just the way it is. And the government can go kiss my ass. You want something scary, folks? You want to see something really scary? Go to kurzweilai.net. Kurzweil, KurzweilAI.net. Kurzweilai.net. A DNA-based nanosensor that detects cancer by its pH. In other words, nanobots healing you from every ailment. Also, Danish police confirm Marriott hotel site for Bilderberg 2014. Now, again, misinterpretation, misdirection. Last year when Alex Jones, or year before last, when Alex Jones went to England and was over there with Paul Joseph Watson, they were at a building that the Bilderberg meeting they thought was taking place in, and they were wrong. Patrick Henningsen over at 21stCenturyWire.com had correct information stating that it was elsewhere outside of the city. Okay, it wasn't last year. It was some other, I think it was the year before last. But, yeah, it was at Watford or something like that. Yeah, so again, misinterpretation, misdirection. That's what the government is happy doing, okay? They want to do that. They have to do that because they don't want you to find out what they're doing behind your back. You ever had that? People in high school talking about you behind your back, and you finally confront them and they're like, oh no, we weren't saying that. Well, how come I just heard you say that? I was listening, you didn't notice me, and I came to you and I'm confronting you, and now I know you said this now, and we need to do that with the federal government, even in Bunkerville, Nevada, even in Blanding, Utah. We need to get up in the government's face and tell them you're either going to shut up and you're going to allow us to do whatever we want to do constitutionally, or you can pack your bags and get the hell out of our country, because if you don't, we're going to arrest your ass and throw you in prison. That's what we need to do. Pardon me. Now, I'm not let me clear something up, folks. I had somebody tell me I was anti-government. I'm not anti-government. I'm anti-corrupt government, okay? I'm not an anarchist. I want government, but I don't want corrupt government. And we need to take these morons and these criminals and these crony people out of Washington, D.C. We need this whole system to collapse, is what I'm saying. And we need to rebuild it constitutionally. And we need to put people in. There's 92 million people, almost a third of the country out of work, folks. I'm sure you've got maybe 50 or 60,000 people that have a percentage of them who know the Constitution backwards and forwards, upside down, and all over the place, that can go to Washington, D.C. and do a better job. So let's look at that. Okay? We need this whole system to collapse. We need to rebuild it on the foundation and the principles of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. And we need the Supreme Court to jump ship. And we need to put people in there that aren't going to have their own agenda, but to uphold the constitutional values and laws for the rest of the country. And if we can't do that, then we've totally lost, folks. We've totally lost. Okay? Now, I don't know, and like I said, folks, if I don't know something, I'll tell you I don't know. I don't know why people would want to continue this system of government when it's absolutely and positively in the toilet and has failed. Okay? I don't know why. Now, some people would tell me, well, it's the best we have. No, it's not. Okay? It's not. And I know it's not because, as they say, actions speak louder than words. And when you see the actions of these people in Washington, D.C., you see the actual, you see their heart. You see where their heart is at. You see what's going on. You know you can just look into their eyes and see what they're doing. You can just look at them and go, I don't like the way that guy looks. And then you can hear their voice and you know exactly. You can put two and two together and go, oh, he's saying one thing, but he's going to do something else. Follow your intuition. Follow the gut feeling. If that gut feeling says don't do this, don't do that, or don't follow this guy, don't listen to him, or the other way, hey, that guy's okay, listen to this guy, or whatever. Listen to your gut feeling. That's 100% correct at all times, every time. Again, you're going to wind up, because you can compare that to other things, you're going to wind up interpreting that or misinterpreting that, and probably, if you're not aware and educated and able to work with your intuition, on a very positive level, you're probably going to be misdirected. I'm not saying that'll happen. I'm just speculating it's a possibility, okay? I'm just throwing that out there as something to think about, okay? But this whole situation has gotten completely out of control. So I'm going to take off here in a couple of minutes, and I'm going to, if you hear that, that's my cell phone ringing. Hello. Want to know what's happening all around us? You do? Great! Come check out the Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show, Friday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on Spreaker.com. Whoops! Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off like that and didn't mean to cut that off like that, but I wanted to make a correction right here at the end of the show, and that is, come join Diana and myself on Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show at 8 Pacific, 11 Eastern. 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern on Spreaker.com or grabbagshow.weebly.com. Check it out. It's a grab bag, folks. We just talk about anything under the sun, and we go from there. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the show today. I hope that you got something out of it. If not, please ask. Just ask me. That's all you got to do. Just ask me. I'm more than happy to tell you. If I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. But email me, freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com. That's the best email address, or if you go to the WayneSpearsShow.weebly.com and email me through there, you'll get to me too. Anyway, just anyway, go to the WayneSpearsShow.weebly.com if you want to sponsor the show. If you have something to sell and stuff like that, then hey, we'll work something out. Go to the sponsors page and check out the rates there. Also, if you have any questions whatsoever, please email me. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you have. Email me, freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com. And come join me on the views expressed today at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on Free America Radio Network. Yes. We're also broadcasting live on wakingupthemasses.com and also on 1610 AM in the Chickamauga, Georgia area. And you can also, as always, catch me on Spreaker.com as well. Folks, come join me today, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, on the Views Expressed live right here on the Free America Radio Network.